past week.
Why do you need me to do it?
Just do it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's great to wake up late. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
That makes no sense.
Why does that make no sense?
That makes no sense.
That makes no sense. Oh, piece of junk. Alright, well, it's good to wake up this morning and get into the Word. If you were watching the countdown, you may have heard me curse at my dog. That's what you get for not being on the stream. You miss funny things. Jeremiah 33:36. Can you turn on this light, Dodo? The word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah a second time, while he was still shut up in the court of the guard. Thus says Yahweh, who made the earth, Yahweh, who formed it to establish it. Yahweh is his name. Call to me, and I will answer you. I will tell you great and hidden things that you have not known. For thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, concerning the house of this city and the houses of the kings of Judah, that were turned down to make a defense against the siege mounds, against the sword. They are coming in to fight against the Chaldeans, and to fill them with the dead bodies of the men whom I shall strike down in my anger and my wrath, for I have hidden my face from the city because of all their evil. Morning, Josh. Behold, I will bring it to health and healing. Josh is always here. He is. I will bring it to health and healing. I will heal them and reveal to them abundance of prosperity and security. I will restore the fortunes of Judah and the fortunes of Israel. I will rebuild them as they were at first. I will cleanse them from all their guilt of their sin against me. I will forgive all their guilt of their sin and rebellion against me. And this city shall be to me a name of joy, a praise and glory before all nations of the earth, who shall hear of all the good that I do for them. They shall hear, fear, and tremble because of all the good and all the prosperity I provide for them. Thus says Yahweh, in this place of which you say it is a waste without man or beast. I hope you're catching on that means, they got raided, sacked. The buildings are gone, everybody's gone. Jerusalem's being punished for their sin. In the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem that are desolate, without man or habitation or beast, there shall be heard again the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride, and those who sing as they drink, as they bring thank offerings to the house of Yahweh. That's another reoccurring thing you see over and over. The voice of people singing and saying things and getting married, and it's a sign of a healthy city, and that's what they want. They want to be a healthy place where God can live and abide with people. Give thanks to the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, for Yahweh is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. That's T, isn't it? For I will restore the fortunes of the land as at first, says Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, in this place that is waste, without man or beast, in all of its cities there shall be again habitations of shepherds, resting their flocks, in the cities of the hill countries, in the cities of Shephelah, in the cities of Negeb, the land of Benjamin, the place about Jerusalem, in the cities of Judah. The flocks shall again pass under the hands of one who counts them, says Yahweh. Behold, the days are coming, declares Yahweh, when I will fulfill the promise I made to the house of Israel and the house of Judah. In those days and at that time I will cause a righteous branch to spring up for David, and he shall execute justice and righteousness in the land. In those days Judah will be saved, and Jerusalem will dwell securely, and this is the name by which it will be called. Yahweh is our righteousness. Can you scoot over a little bit, Boo? What's what for? Oh, that is showing my audio level.
What's audio?
What's audio mean? Like sound. You're spilling on my phone. For thus says Yahweh, David shall never lack a man to sit on the throne of the house of Israel, and the Levitical priest shall never lack a man in my presence to offer burnt offerings, to burn grain offerings, and to make sacrifices forever. The word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah. Thus says Yahweh. I just want to notice that he's talking about the Messiah, probably. And he'll be a king, he'll sit on the throne, but also a priest. I mean, it doesn't say that, but that's kind of what it's implying. It says, David shall never lack a man to sit on the throne, and the Levitical priest shall never lack a man in my presence to make burnt offerings. But their idea, Jeremiah's idea of that is that they'll make sacrifices forever. But that's not really how it worked out, huh? He was a sacrifice once and for all. So he's not wrong. He's not seeing all the... what he's saying is pointing to the real thing, but it turned out to be a little different. I don't need that, honey. Thanks. The word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah. Thus says Yahweh, if you can break my covenant with the day and the covenant with the night, so that day and night will not come at their appointed time, then also my covenant with David my servant may be broken. so that he shall not have a son to reign on his throne in my covenant with the Levitical priests, my ministers. As the host of heaven cannot be numbered and the sands of the sea cannot be measured, so I will multiply the offspring of David my servant and the Levitical priests who minister to me. The word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah. Have you not observed that these people are saying, Yahweh has rejected the two clans that he chose? Thus they have despised my people, so that they are no longer a nation in their sight. Thus says Yahweh, if I have not established my covenant with day and night and fixed the order of heaven and earth, then I will reject one of his offspring to rule over the offspring of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for I will restore their fortunes and have mercy on them. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, when Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his army and all the kingdoms of the earth under his dominion, and all the peoples were fighting against Jerusalem and all its cities. Thus says Yahweh, God of Israel, go and speak to Zedekiah, king of Judah, and say, Thus says Yahweh, behold, I am giving this city into the hand of king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire, and you shall not escape from his hand, but you shall surely be captured and delivered into his hand. You shall see the king of Babylon eye to eye, and speak with him face to face. You shall go to Babylon. Hear the word of Yahweh, O Zedekiah, king of Judah. Thus says Yahweh concerning you, you shall not die by the sword, you shall die in peace, as the spices were burned for your fathers, the former kings who were before you. So people shall burn spices for you, and lament for you, saying, Alas, Lord, for I have spoken the word, declares Yahweh. I don't know, sounds like they definitely forgot about the stream. Well, I know that Amber is like in the hospital or something like that, but I don't know about the rest of our young ladies. Then Jeremiah the prophet spoke all these words to Zedekiah, king of Judah and Jerusalem, when the army of the king of Babylon was fighting against Jerusalem, and against all the cities of Judah that were left, Lachish and Azekah, for these were the only fortified cities of Judah that remained. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh, after King Zedekiah had made a covenant with all the people in Jerusalem, to make a proclamation of liberty to them, that everyone should set free his Hebrew slaves, male and female, so that no one should enslave a Jew his brother. And they obeyed, all the officials and all the people who had entered into the covenant, that everyone would set free his slave, male or female. Oh, did I just read that? They obeyed and set them free, but afterward they turned around and took back the male and female slaves, so that they they had set free and brought them into subjection as slaves. The word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah from Yahweh. Thus says Yahweh, the God of Israel, I have made a covenant with you for your fathers, saying, I have brought them out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery, saying, at the end of 7 years each of you must set free his fellow Hebrew, who has been sold to you, who has served you for 6 years. You must set him free from his service. But your fathers did not listen to me, or incline their ears to me. You recently repented and did what was right in my eyes, by proclaiming liberty, each to his neighbor, and you made a covenant before me in this house that is called by my name. Then you turned around and profaned my name, for each of you took back his male and female slaves, whom you had set free according to his desire, and brought them into subjection to your slaves. That's a law that God made. It's called, it's not the year of Jubilee, but it's a similar thing. Every 7 years, there's this big party, and they let the land rest. They don't work it anymore and let it regain its nutrients, values, and stuff like that. That's not what I don't think they understood that whole thing, but it just gave fruit, and they didn't have to work it or anything. But then they set all their slaves free. And it sounds like this is what's happening kind of right in the middle of this war that's going on between Babylon and Judah. But they didn't set him free. Therefore, this is Yahweh, you have not obeyed me by proclaiming liberty to every one his brother and his neighbor. Behold, I proclaim to you liberty to the sword. Wait, so he's saying he did a bad thing? In proclaiming liberty? But maybe because they didn't work, or what? I proclaim to you liberty to the sword, to pestilence, and to famine, declares Yahweh. I will make you a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth, and the men who transgressed my covenant and did not keep the terms of the covenant that they made before me. I will make them like the calf that they had cut in two and passed between its parts. If you're confused about that, that's the covenant that God made with Abraham. Like when he made a covenant with him a bunch of times, but one of the times they cut a bunch of animals in two, and God walked through them, representing, "Let this happen to me if I break the covenant." But now he's saying, that because they disobeyed the covenant, they've broken the covenant because they're not being faithful. That is pretty brutal. Obviously, somebody's not going to chop them literally in half, but that's just what he's pointing at. But the city is going to be destroyed, and he's going to be taken to Babylon. The officials of Judah, the officials of Jerusalem, the eunuchs, the priests, and the people of the land who passed between the parts of the calf, I will give them into the hand of their enemies, into the hand of those who seek their lives. Their dead bodies shall be food for the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth. And Zedekiah, king of Judah, and his officials I will give into the hands of the enemy, and into the hands of those who seek their lives, into the hands of the armies of the king of Babylon, which has withdrawn from you. Behold, I will command, declares the Lord, and will bring them back to this city, and they will fight against it, and take it, and burn it with fire, and will make the cities of Judah a desolation without inhabitant. Okay, so I think they came and they took away a bunch of people, and then, they fought and did a bunch of bad things, and then they're coming back. God's going to have them come back. That sucks. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. A new king? Because it was just Zedekiah, right? Yeah. So this must be a different letter from Jeremiah at some point. Go to the house of the Rechabites and speak with them, and bring them to the house of Yahweh into one of the chambers. Offer them wine to drink. So I took Jaazaniah, son of Jeremiah, the son of Habaziniah, and all his brothers, and all his sons, and the whole house of the Rechabites. I brought them to the house of Yahweh into the chambers of the sons of Hanan, sons of Igdaliah, the man of God, which was near the chambers of the officials, above the chambers of Maaseiah, son of Shallum, keeper of the threshold. Then I set before the Rechabites pitchers full of wine and cups, and I said to them, Drink wine. And they answered, We will drink no wine. For Jonadab, the son of Rechab, our father, commanded us, You shall not drink wine, neither you nor your sons forever. You shall not build a house. You shall not sow seed. You shall not plant a vineyard. You shall not live in tents all your days, that you may live your days in the land where you sojourn. We have obeyed the voice of Jonadab, the son of Rechab, our father, in all that he commanded us to drink no wine all our day, ourselves, our wives, our sons, and our daughters. We will not build houses to dwell in. We have no vineyard or field or seed, but we will live in tents, and have obeyed and done all that Jonadab our father commanded us. But when Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon came against the land, we said, Come, let us go to Jerusalem, for the fear of the army of the Chaldeans. and the army of the Syrians. So we are living in Jerusalem. Oh, I don't know if I've ever heard this story. Then the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, go and say to the people of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, will you not receive instruction and listen to my words? Declares Yahweh. The command that Jonadab the son of Rechab gave to his sons, to drink no wine, has been kept, and they drink none to this day, for they have obeyed their father's command. I have spoken to you persistently, but you have not listened to me. I have sent you to all my servants, the prophets, sending them persistently, saying, turn now every one of you from his evil way and amend your deeds, and do not go after other gods to serve them, and that you shall dwell in the land that I gave to you and your fathers. But you did not incline your ears or listen to me. The sons of Jonadab, the sons of Rechab, have kept the commandment that their father gave them, but this people has not obeyed me. Therefore, thus says Yahweh, God of hosts, God of Israel, behold, I am bringing upon Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem all disaster that I have pronounced against them, because I have spoken to them, and they have not listened. I have called to them, and they have not answered. But the house of the Rechabites, Jeremiah said, thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, because you have obeyed the commands of Jonadab, your father, and kept all his precepts, and done all that he commanded you. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, God of Israel, Jonadab, the son of Rechab shall never lack a man to stand before me. Wow, interesting. Uh, 36. In the 4th year of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, this word came to Jeremiah the Lord. Take a scroll and write on it all the words I have spoken to you against Israel and Judah, and in all the nations from the day I spoke to you, from the days of Josiah until today. It may be that the house of Judah will hear all the disaster that I intend to do to them, so that every one may turn from his evil way, that I may forgive their iniquity and their sin. Then Jeremiah called Baruch, the son of Neriah, and Baruch wrote on the scroll at the dictation of Jeremiah all the words of Yahweh that he had spoken to him. And Jeremiah ordered Baruch, saying, I am banned from going to the house of Yahweh. So are you to go on a day of fasting in the hearing of all the people in Yahweh's house. You shall read the words of Yahweh from the scroll that you have written at my dictation. You shall read them also in the hearing of all the men of Judah who come out to their cities. It may be that their plea for mercy will come before Yahweh, and that every one will turn from his evil way, for great is the anger and wrath that Yahweh has pronounced against this people. And Baruch, the son of Neriah, did all that Jeremiah the prophet had ordered him, about reading from the scroll the words of Yahweh in the house of Yahweh's house. The words of Yahweh in Yahweh's house. In the 5th year of Jehoiakim, son of Josiah, king of Judah, in the 9th month, all the people in Jerusalem and all the people who came from the cities of Judah to Jerusalem proclaimed a fast before Yahweh. Then in all the hearing of the people, Baruch read the words of Jeremiah from the scroll in the house of Yahweh in the chamber of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, in the sanctuary, the secretary, which was in the upper court at the entry of the new gate of Yahweh's house. When Micaiah, son of Gemariah, son of Shaphan, heard all these words of Yahweh from the scroll, he went down to the king's house into the secretary's chamber, and all the officials were sitting there. Elishama the secretary, Delaiah, son of Shemaiah, Elnathan, son of Akbor, Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, Zedekiah, son of Hananiah, and all the officials, and Micaiah told them all the words that they had heard.
How do you turn this on? How can you do that?
and all the officials, and Micaiah told them all the words that he had heard when Baruch read the scroll in the hearing of the people. Then all the officials sent Jehudi, the son of Nethaniah, son of Shelemiah, son of Cushi, saying to Baruch, "Take in your hand the scroll that you read in the hearing of this people, and come." So Baruch, the son of Neriah, took the scroll in his hand and came to them. And they said to him, "Sit down and read it." So Baruch read it to them. When they heard all the words, they turned one to another in fear, and they said to Baruch, "We must report all these words to the king." Then they asked Baruch, "Tell us, please, how did you write all these words? Was it at his dictation?" Baruch answered them, "He dictated all these words to me, while I wrote them with ink on a scroll." Then the officials said to Baruch, "Go and hide, you and Jeremiah, and let no one know where you are." What the heck's going on? I know, all these names are crazy. I'm gonna grab a tissue, I'm getting stuff. What? That detects poisonous air. Well, not necessarily. So, they went into the court to the king, having put the scroll in the chamber of Elishama the secretary, and they reported all the words to the king. They sent the king. Then the king sent Jehudi to get the scroll, and he took it from the chamber of Elishama the secretary, and Jehudi read it to the king, and all the officials who stood beside the king. It was the 9th month, and the king was sitting in the winter house, and there was a fire burning in the fire pot before him. As Jehudi read 3 or 4 columns, the king would cut them off with a knife and throw them into the fire in the fire pot, until the entire scroll was consumed in the fire that was in the fire pot. Yet neither the king nor any of his servants who heard all these words were afraid, nor did they tear their garments, even when Elnathan and Delaiah and Jeremiah Gemariah urged the king not to burn the scroll. He would not listen to them. And the king commanded Jerahmeel, the king's son, and Sariah, the son of Azriel, and Shelemiah, the son of Abdeel, to seize Baruch, the secretary, and Jeremiah, the prophet, but the Lord hid them. That's good. Now after the king had burnt the scroll with the words that Baruch wrote at Jeremiah's dictation, the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, "Take another scroll and write on it all the former things that were in the first scroll, when Jehoiakim the king of Judah, which Jehoiakim the king of Judah has burned. And concerning Jehoiakim king of Judah you shall say, Thus says Yahweh, you have burned the scroll, saying, Why have you written it in the king of Babylon? Why have you written in it that the king of Babylon will certainly come and destroy this land, and will cut off from it man and beast? Therefore thus says Yahweh concerning Jehoiakim king of Judah, he shall have none to sit on the throne of David, and his dead body shall be cast out to the heat by day and the frost by night. I will punish him and his offspring and his servants for their iniquity. I will bring upon them all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, upon all the people of Judah, all the disaster that I have pronounced against them, but they would not hear." It's interesting that it's like he has to make a qualifier for what they're going to do with his body, because like we wouldn't give a crap. I mean, if like I'm going to kill you, that's enough. But if somebody was saying, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to put your body outside and it's going to be dead and it's going to get frozen and then hot, you're like, who cares? I'm dead. But for these people, they're a very shame-oriented culture, and that would be a very shameful thing for your whole family and your lineage and everything. And to not have one of your line to sit on the throne, that's the worst nightmare for you. I will punish him and his offsprings and his servants for their iniquity. I will bring upon them and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, upon the people of Judah, all the disaster that I have pronounced against them, but they would not hear. Then Jeremiah took another scroll and gave it to Baruch the scribe and the sons of Neriah, and wrote on it at the dictation of Jeremiah all the words of the scroll that Jehoiakim the king of Judah had burned with fire, and many similar words were added to them. Man, hard hearts. He's just sitting in his chamber with his nice fire, just burning God's words to him. Sheesh. To the choir master, according to the doe of the dawn. Like deer doe. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me from the words of my groaning? Oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night I find no rest. Yet you are holy, enthroned on the praises of Israel. In you our fathers trusted. They trusted, and you delivered them. To you they cried, and were rescued. In you they trusted, and were not put to shame. It's funny that he's saying that, because it's hard to find that in the actual history of Israel sometimes. It's usually they're not crying to God.
Did you zip it up?
Yep, I did. But I am a worm, not a man, scorned by mankind and despised by the people. All who see me mock me. They make mouths at me. They wag their heads. He trusts in Yahweh. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him, for he delights in him. Yet you are he who took me from the womb. You made me trust you at my mother's breasts. On you I was cast from my birth, and from my mother's womb you have been my God. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, and there is none to help. Many bulls encompass me, the strong bulls of Bashan surround me. They open wide their mouths at me like a ravening and roaring lion. I am poured out like water, all my bones are out of joint. My heart is like wax, it is melted within my breast. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue sticks to my jaws. You lay me in the dust of death. For dogs encompass me, and companies of evildoers encircle me. They have pierced my hands and my feet. I can count all my bones. They stare and gloat over me. They divide my garments among them. For my clothing they cast lots. But you, O Yahweh, do not be far off. You, O my help, come quickly to my aid. Deliver my soul from the sword, my precious life from the power of the dog. Save me from the mouth of the lion. You have rescued me from the horns of the wild oxen. I will tell of your name to my brothers. In the midst of the congregation I will praise you. You who fear Yahweh, praise him. All you offspring of Jacob, glorify him, and stand in awe of him, all you offspring of Israel. For he has not despised or abhorred the affliction of the afflicted. He has not hidden his face from him, but has heard when he cried to him. From you comes my praise in the great congregation. My vows I will perform before those who fear him. The afflicted shall eat and be satisfied. Those who seek him shall praise Yahweh. May your hearts live forever. All the ends of the earth shall remember and turn to Yahweh. All the families of the nations shall worship before you. For kingship belongs to Yahweh. He rules over the nations. All the prosperous of the earth eat and worship. Before him shall bow all who go down to the dust, even the one who could not keep himself alive. Prosperity shall serve him. It shall be told of Yahweh to the coming generation. They shall come and proclaim his righteousness to a people yet unborn, that he has done it. I wonder what it meant for David, because they have pierced my hands and feet. I mean, did they do that kind of thing back in David's time? Like, what does that mean? That'd be pretty mean. All right. Thanks, Josh, for tuning in. You're encouraging me, brother. Hope you were blessed by the word this morning, and we can continue to pray for our other kids that they get serious. But let's pray. We'll pray for Amber and for our brothers and sisters. Lord, we lift up Amber to you and pray that as she's in the doctor's office getting checked up and trying to get healthy, Lord, pray that you just touch her with your hand of healing and that she would just feel so much better and feel restored. We pray for all our brothers and sisters of our youth group. We pray that they would be just encouraged to wake up in the morning and to get into your word, Lord, and to hear from you every morning. It'd be something they desire and need to come and drink. And we just pray that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, brother. I know I'll be here, and I know you will be. All right, brother. I'll see you later.